Well, good morning. I'm thinking of opposite things this morning. And why am I thinking of opposites? Well, it's the opposite of what we thought would happen. And what I mean is this. We're in this pandemic, and where I live in Northern California, there are colors assigned to different stages of the pandemic and our response and what we are required to do. We were in a stage called yellow, which meant things were at 50% capacity. Things like businesses and restaurants, places of worship. We had some freedoms that we didn't have earlier, and things were looking hopeful. A new vaccine just a couple weeks ago was announced, and there was light on the horizon. And so there was this mood of optimism. And in short succession, in just a couple weeks, we went from yellow to red. We skipped orange, which meant 25% capacity for those things I mentioned, and just more restrictions, just the admonition to be more careful. And now it appears that we'll be at purple, which is the most severe color designation, and that means outside only for restaurants, for some businesses, certainly for places of worship. It has changed the landscape for sure. It's the opposite of what we thought would happen a couple weeks ago. So when I think of opposites and colors, of course, since I'm an artist, I think of the color wheel. I always have my students do a color wheel. So here's one we did recently. And what you see about these colors is that yellow and purple are opposites, as is green and blue and blue and orange. Yellow and purple are opposites. Now, in the world of color, in the world of art, we use opposites to complement each other. They're called complementary colors, and they help create a zing, a spark, a visual explosion of color, if you will, with the eyes. The Impressionists used this knowledge very well with their bright, bright canvases, understanding that opposite colors juxtaposed next to each other create vibrancy in color. Well, I don't know about vibrancy in being opposite, but with this thought of being opposite, it brought to mind some ideas. You and I have all had life experiences where the opposite happened that we thought would happen. I think of when I was a little girl and a big birthday party was planned, and my poor mom got sick the day of the birthday, and I had to call my friends with my little, trembling lip. My birthday party has been canceled. The opposite of what I thought would happen. And that does something to our emotions. It does something to our sense of stability. And so I was just reminded that it is good to pause and gather strength before going the next leg of the journey. I'm reminded of that story of the horseman who's riding hard away from his adversaries, and he realizes his horse is having trouble. His horse, it needs a new shoe. And, the natural thought would be just to run the horse into the ground, get away from the bad guys. But he had the wisdom and presence of mind to stop long enough to get that new horseshoe on the horse, jump back on, and he blazed out of sight. He won freedom away from his enemies, and his horse was able to run stronger, and it was a good situation. It was a wise thing to do. I think of Queen Esther in the Bible when she needed to go talk to the king, and it was a life or death situation. So she gathered her circle of support. She asked them to fast for 3 days, and implied in that fasting was to fast and pray for 3 days. And then when she went into the king, there was a great victory there that saved a whole group of people. It was an amazing part of history. It really happened. So there is wisdom in pausing and gathering strength before facing the next leg of trouble, a battle, whatever is going on. Now, Thanksgiving in the United States, we have Thanksgiving as a holiday. What a tremendous time to pause and gather strength. Now, for many, Thanksgiving is really different this year because we can't gather, many of us, with the people nearest and dearest to us. People that were coming from out of town can't now sometimes. And wow, what a difficult situation to feel grateful and thankful when the opposite has happened. I found in times of adversity that if I start small, being thankful for the very little things that I might see, while there's food in the refrigerator today, I have a sweater to wear, I don't have the sickness that my poor friend does, the little things that I can think of to be thankful grows. As we think of more things to be thankful and grateful for, it becomes a crescendo of thanks. And it's a much healthier and much stronger place to be. A grateful heart is a strong heart. And we can be thankful to God for so many things. And the more we think about, the more ideas and thoughts will come. So, on that note, just a verse that encouraged me this morning. It's from 1 Corinthians 16:13. Listen, stay alert, stand tall in the faith, be courageous and be strong. Let hope prevail in your life, words and actions. So here's 4, pausing, gaining some strength, and going the next road together. So happy Thanksgiving. May we all have a grateful heart. Thank you. Bye-bye.